Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Danish Akif bin Ahmad Nizam from E41, and today I would like to show you a problem that a lot of college students often face, which is that a lot of students are tasked with making research papers when they are making their project or assignment. An important part of these research papers is the inclusion of a table of contents and the citing of references. However, what usually ends up happening is that these students will manually type down their table of contents and cite their references, which usually ends up with a little bit of a messy situation and can become incredibly tedious. However, what if I tell you that there's actually a built-in solution built into Microsoft Word in order to handle the table of contents and references? So let's start with creating the document itself. Let's go into Microsoft Word and we will create a new blank document by pressing New and Blank Document. Now, when we are writing the actual paper itself, we don't want to manually type in the headings and select bold here. What we actually want to do is use the styles in the Home tab here. So we would use heading 1 to create our big titles, so let's say 1.0 introduction, and then we will use heading 2 for the subtitles like 1.1, maybe let's make it about the Internet of Things. And so we would use this for basically all of the subsequent titles as well. And when you want to put in some body text, you would use the normal selection here. Don't mind the fact that the fonts might not be what you actually want in the final product, because we can change that later. And like when these predictive text shows up, what you can do is you can press tab in order to basically make your typing a lot faster. Basically what we want to emphasize is using these styles. So let's get into customizing these styles, because you don't really want this specific font, or maybe you don't want a specific color. So what you want to do is you can customize each of these headings one by one. So let's start with heading 1. We'll select the text containing heading 1, in my case 1.0 introduction or 2.0 data analysis. Let's do this one. And then what you want to do is expand this window here in font, home font. And when you expand this, you get a lot of options. You get the font, let's say you want Times New Roman. You get the font color, let's set that to automatic or black. You get the font size, let's set that to bold. And you get the size itself. In this case, I'm going to keep it at 20. There's a lot of options, but when you're done, you'll just press OK. And then what you want to do is go to heading here, right click, and press Update Heading 1 to match selection. And as you can see, any text that contains the heading 1 style will automatically update to be the same thing. And you can just repeat this with all the other headings. So of course the table of contents would come before the introduction, so let's go to Insert and Blank Page. Let's go to Heading and Table of Contents. There we go. What you want to do is go to References, press Table of Contents, and press Custom Table of Contents. And now you can do a lot of changes here. You can choose not to have the page numbers. When you're done, you just press OK, and voila, you just have an automatic table of contents, and it will adjust. Say that you keep writing and you add another heading here, heading 2. All that you have to do to update it, you don't have to do it manually. you just have to right click on the table and click update field. And you need to remember to do this every time you add anything to the paper. You just press update field and choose update entire table, and there you go, 2.3 public usage of IoT. So that's it for the table of contents. Let's get on to adding references. Here's a paper by K. Rose, S. Eldridge, L. Chapin. It looks pretty good. It has an explanation of what the Internet of Things is. So let's say you use this as a reference. Say that the introduction is based on this paper. What you're going to do is go to References, Insert Citation, and add new source. So we're going to choose a journal article because this is a journal article. So we're going to fill in the information manually. So let's see, this is Karen Rose. So how we're going to fill it in is we put in the last name, Rose, comma, and then the first name, Karen, and then a semicolon. And that's pretty important to separate between the names. And the second author is Scott Eldridge. So let's put in Eldridge, comma, Scott, semicolon. So that's Scott Eldridge, Karen Rose, and finally Lemon Chapin. So we're going to put Chapin, comma, Lemon, semicolon. And then we put in the title of the paper, and if you want to add in more details, like you can see here that they also provide the version of the journal as well, you can click this little checkbox here, show all bibliography fields, and you can put in any more information that you might want. And you can see that it automatically adds this little bit of reference here. You don't have to manually type it. You can also customize it by right-clicking and choosing Edit Citation. And now you can say you want to suppress the author and the title, and you will end up with just the year. I'm going to add in a couple of other sources now. So now, as you can see, I have 4 more sources here, and I can just choose to cite any one of them. This also helps when you're creating the bibliography or the references page. Let's add another page. So we're going to go to Insert, and now we're going to choose Page Break. So let's add in the title, References, and instead of manually typing in Abdul Malik, what we're going to do is just go to References, Bibliography, and Insert Bibliography, and that's it. It automatically adds in all the references that you already have in the paper, and of course when you want to add more sources, six to 7. So now I have another citation here. Just like with the table of contents, we just right click and choose Update Field, and you can see right there Putra M and Notman A, IoT in the University Life, pages 6 to 7. And again, we can go to the table of contents, Update Field, update the entire table, and now the references are also in here. I hope that this can be useful when you are making your research papers. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you and goodbye.